the city of the sun. You could have stayed, it's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shape my smile.
We're gonna go over them. While the toxic, racist, evil, bitter British press and royalists are busy with their media-coordinated hate campaign to smear her name, Meghan is busy impacting UK supermarket sales and blowing up their search engine all the way from California. Okay, so there's all of the hashtag. It's 47 seconds.
And how can a British national television bring on someone to say this?
It's not a hate towards her, Sonia. It's actually, I will say this, I hate the kind of bombastic perspective that this particular person, Meghan, is somehow better than everybody else, and she is somehow pretending to give us something that's actually going to be something we're going to be able to follow. Nobody's going to follow those recipes. Nobody makes tea bags for their guests to have a bar. I mean, they're lucky if they get fresh towels.
You guests.
No wonder why the squad were talking about that. The squad were talking about that. When people come to your house, you're not giving them fresh towels. Now I see where. They're revealing themselves each time. Oh my God, I feel sorry for her for even saying it. But let's continue.
Lucky if they get fresh towels.
The reason why I'm laughing is that it's completely out of touch and completely divorced from reality.
Come on, guys, we can do so much better. What do you mean this is completely out of touch? What do you mean? What happened to England being a place where people had manners and people had courtesy and people were raised well, you know, to treat guests with respect and kindness? And what happened to that England? This is honestly ridiculous. Some of us had home training, okay? Yeah, thank you. But how can a British...
Oh my God, the squad or something. This is what they were talking about. I mean, sometimes when some crazy thing goes in the UK, Many of the squad don't share the videos but make reference to it. Oh, like dirty towel and things like that. And I think I respond to it not knowing it was from the. I knew. Okay, one thing I'm truly aware of, I say it's either from a article that they read or from some crazy shit that was said in the UK. Now I see where it came from. Alright, next one. But this is a long thread, and I didn't even touch the waffle maker thing. This probably gonna be a different video. By the time the working royals with the British press and royalists realized being racist, abusing, bullying, trolling, and harassing Meghan was damaging them and the whole world is watching how evil they are, it's too late to make it right. That is true. That is true. Alright, let's listen to that. Oh, what? 9 minutes? Okay, definitely. There's gonna be different part. Let's listen.
And I am back. But today I'm doing something a little different than my normal Beyonce stuff. We're going to be revisiting Meghan Markle's 2017 Vanity Fair cover story. Now, I don't know much about Meghan at all, but I see so much about her on the internet and people are just very, very rude and mean. And I'm like, what did this lady do? I have to figure it out myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched her Netflix show with Love and I was very confused because it was just a woman making candles and like baking cakes, and she like has a bee farm. And I'm like, this is what people hate? Someone making candles?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, let me go see from her mouth herself. Let me go back in her archive, maybe something she said in the past or how she was. Because y'all know I started this page because I like to read old interviews and old magazines and hear from the person themselves. I'm not a blind item girly. I'm not a shade room girly. I'm not a hot topics. I'm not a gossip blog. I don't care what someone has to say about someone else. I don't care what an insider has to say or a close friend. I want to hear from the person themselves.
Good.
So let's get into it. Let's read the September 2017 Vanity Fair. Now, this was when she was Meghan Markle. This was before she got married. She was not a Sussex. I think that's what she likes to be called now. I respect what anyone likes to be called, but this at the time she was not married. She was just Meghan Markle. So at the time of this cover story, she is 36 and she is living in Toronto because she is still actively filming Suits. So again, she is living in Toronto on this really cute, quiet street. She opens the door herself. She's wearing like this knee-length floral gown. She has 2 rescue dogs, Beauregard and Guy. I can even prepare lunch for them. They're having organic greens on a crusty bread, dipped in olive oil, and some pasta tossed in chili. Which, again, if you have seen her new show with Love, this is the show.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 2017, before she's a princess, almost 10 years ago. And
this is what I said. Like, for her, the TIG was like not paper because it was written form, but now we're seeing visually in terms of video form. All right, so let's continue.
She's still the same girl, so I'm really confused. Like, say if you watch the new show and you're like, oh, she's so fake, like this doesn't seem genuine. I mean, in 2017, she was preparing lunches healthy for her guests too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's even like, if you really like this, I'll make you a little in a jar so you can take home. Again, if you watched her show with Love, the first thing they're doing is jarring stuff. So at this point, Meghan and Harry had been together for almost a year, and they say since then, media coverage of their romance has been so intense, and much of it unpleasant, still 10 years later, that Prince Harry has moved to issue a statement asking the press and public, especially, to back off. That's a real king. We even get a little quote from Harry who says the only time he's ever felt normal was his 10 years in the army serving in Afghanistan. And in the recent years, he's been doing a lot of philanthropy on behalf of combat veterans. He acknowledges that he went through a lot of crazy stuff and he was in the press being like a very bad boy, but he said it was just a classic case of him being too much army and not enough prince. And then we hear about his inheritance. Harry, when he turned 30, inherited $16 million from his mother, Princess Diana's estate. And that's when he was determined to spend his time and efforts supporting veterans with physical and psychological injuries. Now, I'm not a royal expert, but people were very upset that Meghan recently came out and she was like, hey, it's not Markle, it's Sussex. And they were like, that's a title, and you, your title, blah, blah, blah. But I don't ever hear them also say that we can't call Princess Diana when she was divorced from her husband. I don't know. But they're like, even though Harry had this like wild side and he was out acting crazy, the public has really forgiven him. And he was really just acting out of a broken heart. And he went to grief counseling in his late 20s, which is not that far off from this interview. I want to say when this interview was being conducted, he was 33. But we get back to Meghan, and she said that she was born in Los Angeles, and she's a Cali girl. And she's like, I'm such a Cali girl. Like, anything can be cured with yoga, the beach, and a few avocados. Which, again, if you see her show, this is the same girlie.
Mm-hmm.
This is the girl. I don't know Meghan Markle. I don't know anything about her either. That's why I'm reading this. Because I don't want to just, like, make assumptions and go off of, like, I don't have mob mentality. But the girl that I watched on that show is this girl from 2017. Meghan also tells us that while she was struggling to try to become an actor, her parents were really supportive of her, but in order to make ends meet, she started taking up calligraphy. Again, if you watch her show, you would see she has like the most amazing penmanship, and she like.
I'm gonna pause now. It's 6 o'clock, and then after this video, I'm gonna stop, and then maybe later on in the day, I will pick up on this. So I'm gonna pause this here, and I'm gonna come back after I wake up my son, and then finish this one. Once I'm done, I'm gonna stop completely. All right, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and now I'm eating what is it, mixed nuts. I might go to the gym later, but let's finish this.
The like rights and label stuff, which makes sense since she was doing calligraphy, and that's what people were upset about. Oh no, Meghan Markle's doing calligraphy in her new show. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Grow up. She says at an early age, her mother made sure that her little girl knew about the greater world and its political and economical challenges when she was growing up in LA. She actually tells...
That's what I'm saying. Miss Doria's flower is blooming right now.
It's a very sad story about what was going on during the LA riots in 1991 after the brutal police brutality against Rodney King. She said they had let us go home from school during the riots and there was ash everywhere. And she's a child and she's seeing the ash fall from the street and she's like, oh my God, mommy, it's snowing. Because she's just a kid. And her mom's like, it's not snow, babe. Get in the house. She says growing up biracial, she was never made to feel different but special, and that her parents would go out and they would buy one black mom doll and one white dad doll, and she would have little baby dolls of every color. She mentioned in 7th grade she really had to start thinking about her race when you had to check off the boxes for a mandatory census. She said that to choose either black or white would be a rejection of one of her parents. And her teacher was like, just put down Caucasian, because she's so light-skinned and she kind of looks white, but she was like, I couldn't. So she just left the boxes unchecked. She says, I left my identity blank, a question mark, an absolute incomplete, much like how I felt. Now, as someone who's also biracial, I will either check black and white, or I'll just check black. It just depends on my mood. And I have that right. I could do whatever I want. In November 2016, the Daily Star Online announced, ready for this? Prince Harry can marry into a gangster royalty. His new love is from a crime-ridden Los Angeles neighborhood. The royal's future mother-in-law still lives in Crenshaw, surrounded by bloodbath robberies and drug-induced violence. Oh, but we don't like her because she's making honey. Because she's making her own candles. Be for real why you don't like her. And they asked Meghan how she handles all this, because she's so much better than me. Because I would have posted a picture of me on top of the prince like, you wish this was you? She says, I can tell you that at the end of the day, I think it's really simple. We're two people who are really happy and in love. We were very quietly dating for about 6 months before it became news. And I was working during that whole time, and the whole thing that changed was people's perspective. Because she's like, nothing about me has changed. And apparently it still hasn't. Mm-hmm. I'm still the same person that I am, and I've never been defined by my relationship. But they say that this whole media frenzy seems to bother the prince more than it does Meghan. Meghan Markle has been subject to a wave of abuse and harassment. Prince Harry is worried about Miss Markle's safety and is deeply disappointed that he has not been able to protect her. Again, this is before the Oprah interview. This is before they're married. This is before she got pregnant. He has been worried about her 6 months in. But Meghan's like, we're a couple, we're in love. I'm sure there will be a time when we'll have to come forward and present ourselves and have stories to tell. But I hope what people will understand is that this is our time. This is for us. It's part of what makes it so special, that it's ours. But we're happy. Personally, I love a great love story. Period, Megan. I also love a great love story. This is more than a love story. This is a fairy tale. She got the prince, and you're mad. But if you enjoyed this article, go read it. It's all up on Vanity Fair's website still. I had to cut out a lot because it was very long. Go watch her new show on Netflix with Love. Go make her one pot pasta. I want to. I just have not gotten around to it, but I will. And I don't know, stop being mean to black women online because you're jealous of them. Stop seeing black women live a soft life and trying to find a reason to be mad about it. If you like this video, follow me, comment, like it. If you didn't like this video, then tell me what you want to see me do next. Do you like me doing other stuff that doesn't revolve around Beyonce? Let me know.
All right, so I did say, all right, is that the last one? Let me click on it. Maybe there's more under it. Oh my Lord. I did say I was gonna stop. I'm already an hour. All right, let's listen to this. Black women are beautifully living their best life, busy for themselves and minding their business. The support for Meghan is massive, and I love that for MEGHAN SUSSEX. Oh my God, this is long too. 6 minutes. Let's listen. Let me eat my thing as I listen to that.
From the aspect of what I do for a living, as it pertains to live events, TV sets, movie sets, all that stuff like that. Lifestyle shows are not expensive to make. I think like a lot of you all know that, right? Because the wardrobe typically belongs to the host. Hair and makeup is lightweight. Sometimes they do it from their own personal homes and landscapes, but that's not even very feasible if you have little children. So even renting something nearby is not going to break the bank. When you see what Meghan has done, you don't question whether or not she keeps her contract. You asked her, what's next? Where do you want to go? She just... Netflix is being humble about it. They're saying season 2, but Meghan at least has 3 more seasons of this to come. At least. When I say 3 more seasons, I mean don't be surprised if you see a With Love Meghan season 5. Because what a lot of the haters, and you know what? The haters do know, which is why they're panicking. When you see a return of investment on a lifestyle content show,
that's
and
right.
Let me just say this. Lifestyle good feel shows, they do well enough. They're not bad. I don't even consider what Meghan is doing a cooking show because she's showing you hospitality. She's showing you hosting. She's showing you party planning. So it's not just her in a kitchen showing you how to cook a meal, you know. Shows like that do well in their own genre. Rarely do they jump out into a top 10. Rarely. And hers did. Number 5 in the United States at its peak. Number 4 in a few other countries, and top 10 globally. If you are Netflix, you are going cha-ching.
That's right.
I can't do dollar signs. Cha-ching.
She's right.
And if I were someone who was in charge of all of this, I would be like, Meghan, baby, what do you want? Throw me some ideas. Anything you want, you got it. So what I will say is this.
And this is why Netflix quickly partnered with her. Did I put my volume up? Because I before I had to lower it while I was taking the mixed nuts. This is why Netflix quickly partnered with her, because they see her potential and they don't want other platform to offer her anything. They want to keep it to themselves. They want to keep Harry and Meghan to themselves. They know. Let's continue.
If season 2 is still in LA, or I'm sorry, Santa Barbara, that's totally fine. But I need her to step it up a notch in season 3. Get the fuck out of America. Go to South America. Go to Colombia, where it's ethnically rich. There's all type of African influence, indigenous influence, European, Asian. It's like a melting pot. She would do so. Can you imagine like the colors and the colorful kitchens and the beautiful people? Not that y'all ugly in America. I'm from America. America. But that would be so, like, literally get on your Anthony Bourdain shit, Megan. You can totally
That's
do
right.
it. You could totally do it. Would that cost a little bit more money? Yes.
The travel.
Security,
Yeah.
and lodging and all of that, I get it. But understand that by the time Megan gets to season 3 and 4, that woman's going to be rich beyond her means, and she's going to be able to take this on the road easily. Easily. When my clients get returns of investments after paying jack shit for their space, do you know how happy they are? Because that's what it's all about. Everything in life is about a return of investment. And the fact that Megan was able to take that type of content and put it next to all the psychotic stuff that you guys like to watch, like murder mysteries and drama, she was just sitting there like a ray of sunshine amongst all that dark shit.
That's true.
How did she do it? Because she's MEGHAN SUSSEX. And whether you love her or hate her, you're watching and following everything she does. If you're a casual person, don't come in my comments, but I don't care. I'm not talking about you. Go away. I'm talking about the people who make it their life's mission to hate her and those who make it their life mission to love her. She's doing extremely well for herself. And I think that when this lifestyle brand drops, it's going to sell out in minutes.
Yep.
This lady was moving Le Creuset on a random Tuesday. Okay? I have a set. Yes, black woman owned Le Creuset. I say, my mom says Le Creuset. I say Le Creuset. But I have one that I inherited from my grandmother. My mom didn't want it. And then I have one that I bought that was new. The cream colored one I would absolutely love if I can find it, because y'all done bought it all up and I can't find it anywhere. But I think Netflix should give her the green light on several seasons and really branch out of the American California market and put her somewhere internationally. And if she can do it safely,
that's right,
and still be a mom and a wife, the better.
Safety is the number one. Despite what we are saying here, the world is in a turmoil. I don't want to make this about politics, but even though I'm not sharing as much political things on Happy Team Sussex, for instance, this is where I usually put my political thing, but I'm still looking. Occasionally, I take a peek here to see what's going on. It's very dark. It is very dark, and this is why I said Meghan show came the right time to balance the political aspect of things, because a lot of African Americans are not going out there to protest or whatever. They're taking care of themselves and things like that. But outside of the US, even in Africa, there's something that's brewing in Africa as well. Okay? It's not the African country or the continent itself as a whole who's creating the chaos. It's outside influence, European, the US as well, who's brewing stuff, unnecessary stuff. So there's a lot of things going on. So it will have to be extremely safe for her to do that. I could see Nigeria as one of the countries she could go, and Colombia as well, because she went there already. So maybe to explore their culture and learn, maybe. One of the TikTok videos have said something about how they could alternate, where she's learning something and then she's teaching something. Learn something and teaching. Or maybe season 2 could be about her learning about how other cultures, let's say Nigerian, cook certain things. And then the following one could be Colombia, So, yeah, let's finish that. Oh, my God, there's so much.
I think that there's a way for her to do it safely. And the one thing that she can do is that people can't leak where she's filming.
That's right.
And that's the one downside to Santa Barbara. Unfortunately, there are some blabbermouths out that way, so they kind of spilled the beans on her filming schedule.
So far, I will say it's going okay with the leaking kind of thing. Nobody's leaking from her camp. So, yeah. But the safety and people in her camp to keep it quiet, that's the only thing. And then she could do, for instance, for 2 weeks, all right, before she travel to whatever country she's going to go, plan everything out to a T, talk to the people, and then maybe take a week to film the whole season. And then right after, fly out. I mean, I'm not in that aspect. I don't know how quick these things do, but anyway, let's continue.
But I think if she went somewhere international, believe it or not, I think a lot of people would keep it shut because they know with her comes some type of return of investment for
That's
them.
right.
They know it. They know it. So if you haven't watched that show, check it out. It is really feel good content. I cleaned my whole house watching that show and then had to sit down again because I will bake that cake and I will make those Korean chicken wings if it's the last thing I do. And that one pan pasta dish. I gotta try that. See, so much good stuff. So much good stuff. Give the woman what she wants.
I just love it how the support that she's getting and people are putting their content.
I want to talk about what
let's
love
pause
Meg.
this. Let's go into that. I did say I was gonna. Oh my lord, the squad are putting so much. The media and their troll trying to avoid admitting that they don't believe black women live more luxuriously than them. There's a laugh here. They can imagine Meghan living her best life, busy working for herself, and humanity make them uncomfortable. This is my my list. I thought this is something that was gonna be done really quickly. I'm up to here. And then I have things about the waffle, and then the next video that I was gonna do had to do with Harry's visa and all of that, and I'm still stuck here. So that's gonna be one video. Okay, so let's listen to that. 1 minute and 41 seconds.
Dear Meghan, we see you. Dear Meghan, Duchess, we see you. And we, the 92% who are in our soft girl era, have always seen you. And we love you. For all of those who want to say she's not relatable, us black women, we use those pots, we wear those watches. And for a lot of you who have not watched like the Barefoot Contessa, B. Smith, Martha Stewart, that kind of cooking shows has been around. The only difference is people are criticizing it's because it's Meghan. And we are here. I watched it. It's a great show because I did watch Barefoot Contessa. So I have something that I can compare it to and not just saying it because it's Meghan. It really is a good show and there's parts of it that I love. I love that she has that happy dance when something she loves happens, and I love, and you can feel the energy that she's being her. And correcting somebody that says your name wrong, it's okay. People get married and it's out of respect for her husband, so just put a pipe in it, people. And I love the show and I'll keep watching it. Dear Meghan, we love you.
I'm so happy people are putting content to support her. Is that the one that I saw already? 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Oh my lord, there's more. Let me see how many below. Oh my. Okay, this one I did already from a different video. This lady explained why the Daily Mail and the British media, including the American media, have spent billions trying to destroy Meghan. Remember, the UK sent their toxic media people in the US to continue the same nonsense that was happening in the UK. What's happening now is that there's more pushback, okay, against the tabloid and Harry, and yet they are still standing because they are working for themselves and humanity without their money. Okay, there's all those hashtags. 3 minutes and 9 seconds.
The Meghan hate is not just about race. Yes, from the white women who have this absolute desire to tear her apart, it is about race for them. It's about race for a lot of it, but actually it's about the game, right? Meghan has come in and literally flipped the game over and said, I'm not playing the game, but I'm still going to win. Let me explain. So let's say we're all playing this game called the game of life. And the rule of the game of life is that everybody has to work to live. That's basically the rule. Now, the people who own the game, they don't have to work to live. In fact, they don't even have to play the game at all. But they are always the winner. Now, underneath them, you have the runners-up. Now, the runners-up can only be people from certain groups. Otherwise, you could never be a runner-up. Every now and again, you might get someone who slips through the net. But even if they are a runner-up, they always have to work. Everybody has to work.
As she's saying that, I'm thinking two things. The Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar, with his performance. The second one is there's that image that I have where you have the working class at the bottom, the peasants, and then you have the bourgeois people at a certain level, and then you have the royal family on top. That's what that came to mind as she explained that. But let's continue.
Even if you're a runner-up, you cannot be at the top and work. The rule doesn't work like that. Now, the majority of people, the vast, vast majority of people, are the losers. Not because there's anything wrong with you. That's the rule of the game. Is that you have to be a loser. You have to lose in order for the people who own the game to win. Otherwise, the game doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So what Meghan did is something we've never seen before. We've never seen this before. She's done something that is completely new. And the people who own the game didn't see her coming. They were not prepared for Meghan. What Meghan did is, she did what they do. She didn't work to win the game. She showed, actually, I'm going to break the rules because I'm not
Don't
a
make
white
noise.
woman.
Let me pause for a second. Okay, someone walked in. Let me move it back, like right here.
She didn't work to win the game. She showed, actually, I'm going to break the rules because I'm not a white woman. I'm not middle class or upper class. I don't come from any wealth. And I'm going to jump over and go right into the winner's line. And they're like, what the hell is going on? So not only has she broken their game, but she's absolutely showed them that it's flawed. It's a flawed game. So now they're angry at her instead of angry at the fact that their game is slowly being dismantled. Now, of course, the race part is that Meghan, as a mixed race woman or biracial...
Before she continue, one thing that Princess Diana have said is that when she took herself out of the game, they were very surprised. They didn't like it.
The campaign was, in that point, was being successful. But it did surprise the people who were causing the grief. It did surprise them when I took myself out of the game. They hadn't expected that. And I'm a great believer that you should always confuse the enemy.
Who was the enemy?
Well, the enemy was my husband's department, because I always got more publicity. My work was discussed much more than him, and you know, from that point of view, I understand it. But I was doing good things, and I wanted to do good things. I was never going to hurt anyone. I was never going to let anyone down.
But you really believe that it was out of jealousy that they wanted to undermine you?
I think it was out of fear, because here was a strong woman doing her bit, and where was she getting her strength from to continue?
So Meghan took it to the next level. That's what it is here. And then this is why, allegedly, they tried to undermine her by going to Netflix and tell Netflix not to air their show, Harry and Meghan's show. So what Netflix did, Netflix saw the dollar sign and said, F you, we are about money, we're gonna get that coins. All right, so let's move it back.
That their game is slowly being dismantled. Now, of course, the race part is that Meghan, as a mixed race woman or biracial woman, would never normally be able to do that. But the person who is part of the winners, which is Prince Harry, he didn't even realise that game was the game himself, which is why he allowed her to break the rules and to win with him. Which just goes to show, really, that, look, love can really conquer anything, especially a really fucked up game, the game of life that we're all playing.
That is true. Okay, this one I think I covered it already. All right, let me see if there's more under hers. Okay, these two I cover. I remember covered, so I'm done. I can't believe this. All right, let me go back. It's some past videos. I didn't know it was a thread, or maybe somebody add them to the thread. Moving back, 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 back. Oh my goodness, it was a lot. All right, so let's see. Let me read some of the comments here. Thank you so much for your long and very good explanatory of each episode of Princess Meghan's show. Despite all the points that you very clearly debunk, the racists will find a way to vomit their racism and hate. But nobody cares. Duchess Meghan will forever be loved. Okay, I'm yet to see what the toxic, racist, evil, bitter white people and their media didn't blame Meghan for. People just ignore them now. Well, apparently media pundit Grace Randolph are calling it a flop because it's just number 10 on Netflix, also questioning why Meghan received a second season so fast. Let them live in their bubble. I love this detail take from Celicia. This might be her second TikTok video on With Love Meghan. Watching this lady presenting a thesis on Meghan to rebuke malicious conceptions is superb. A meticulous graduate thesis, she presented her argument on the bias argument spoken against Meghan and systematically highlighted the false narrative of the haters with proven facts. Okay, and we love you. That's the heart. So much wisdom being dropped from these ladies. You have to get to watch the entire video. The racist, toxic British media and confused Kenzie, whatever her name is, want Meghan to be ghetto. Remember the straight out of Campton reference. She is not. They can stand to see her elegance and successful. Alright, so this is gonna be one video by itself, and I have more. The next time that it's probably later on. I'm gonna do the next video is gonna be about the waffle. I didn't know this was a long list, so the next video that I do, I'm gonna start with that. Okay, so this one I just posted. Okay, alright, that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. I'll do a thumbnails for this later. So let's make this public now. All right, so that's it.